What's going on, everybody? It's Mike from Shaolin's Finest Fisherman. Today we're going to be going over poppers. So poppers and spooks, because I kind of put them in a close category together. For the most part, poppers for striped bass fishing, they will say it's a daytime lure. Like this is a regular simple popper. This is the original kind of design that they came in. It was just kind of like a torpedo, no engraves. It's just kind of like a thing, just with like a popping, in the front. This is a creek chub, very good popper. I mean, the tail wraps, the hooks, they come with a size 4-0. Great popper. All right. Now this is a classic Adam striper swiper. This thing I think has been around since the 1960s. This thing has taken so many striped bass. It's not even funny, right? So now you got these styles. Okay, so these are going to be your more streamlined popping styles, which, regardless what people will say, you will hear very many amount of people say poppers or daytime plug. I don't so much subscribe to that theory. I think that poppers do work at night, can work at night, and sometimes in certain areas they might excel at night. Especially these types of poppers that are kind of like more streamlined, so they're not making as much commotion. So they're kind of like streamlining through it, but just making a little pop in the front, so kind of give it a little action. All right. So now I love these because it's just a nice, they're very high quality. Now these two poppers, these are both Creek Chubs, and these are Adam, all good classic companies that have caught their massive amounts of fish on them. All right. Then we'll get into things like little neck poppers. All right. You could see the design. It's got this kind of like oval background with a cup with a concave face. Now that concave face is so when you push it, the water is going to fly forward, attracting fish. Now in the daytime, you're going to want to fish these things a little faster, have a little bit more poppier action to them, because it's a little harder to get the fish to bite during the daytime. Now me personally, especially in Staten Island, we don't have much of a daytime bite. Definitely not really a daytime bite, let alone even dusk and dawn, when you would also use poppers. Not too strong over here, but I mean, I have caught fish at night on poppers. That I will tell you about. So that's what kind of my idea of that. Poppers isn't just a daytime plug. All right. Now this is kind of very similar to the Super Strike Mini Little Neck. Now these can actually be cast very far, and because of their shape, they got this kind of like little shape here. You could just swim these very slow, and they have a little subtle action. A lot of people do that at night, because what it'll be something you could ride along the top, right? Really just reel it, and it will give it the slightest subtle little action, which is not the way you'd normally be working a popper, but that is a way that you can use it. Okay, this I thought would just be a great thing to show. This was one of my father's old poppers. This thing must be from the 70s. This is all it took to catch plenty of fish. Pop, pop, pop. They grab the worm. Pop, pop, pop. This to me is an antique, a classic, and a lot of fish been caught on this guy. Now we're gonna get into some custom wood. Okay, my man Vinny Customs right here. All right, this is called Painkiller Senior, Painkiller Junior. Okay, now these are poppers. I've caught fish on this one at night, and many people will say, "Oh, you don't fish poppers at night." Well, I can tell you, I catch fish on this at night. All right, now the way you want to work a popper at night is going to be a little different during the way you would work it in the daytime. In the daytime, you're going to kind of give it like work kind of like a pencil popper, shaking it, make it bounce around, making a lot of commotion, right? The way I like to work it at night is I'll really slow, and then just give it a pop, pop, and it'll be just a really slow, dying, bouncing bait fish. That's the way I fish them at night. And I had also had plenty of fish, not plenty, but I've had one or two. What they would do is something like this would be at the top of the water, and striped bass have a habit of smacking things with their head, slapping with their tails. They're not sure about it. I've actually had a striped bass come up, hit this with his head, snag himself right in the forehead, and I caught him, got him in, you know. So these things, don't let anybody tell you poppers only have one purpose and they're just for daytime and they're useless otherwise, okay? I've actually had more success on poppers at nighttime than during the daytime. Maybe that's just me, all right? And we're going to get over to this, which is, it's kind of like a combination of a popper and a spook put together, only because, yes, it is a popper with a concave thing, but you can get this thing to walk the dog. It should be something like that. Which, what excels at that is spooks. This is the, oh wow, it's skipping my mind right now. The dock, all right? Now, with this, because it's such a giant lure, you need a pretty stout rod. But what happens is, as you're fishing, right, you get the line tight, bang it. It's going to go, whoosh, right? Now, on that slack, you bang it again, and it's going to go, whoosh. And then on that slack, you bang it again, it's going to go, whoosh. And you're going to ride it in all the way like that. Now, this thing pushes a lot of water back and forth, attracting fish. This is a great daytime plug. Would I use something like this at night? Depending on the conditions and where I was fishing, yeah, sure, if I needed to, absolutely. You know, this is kind of like a I don't know, just an odd little piece of wood. It's a cross between, I guess, it's kind of got like a spook design on top, but doesn't really have too much action. Just this little thing in the back spins. Haven't caught anything on it yet. Just something different. Thought I might want to show you. All right, got a little Zara, or a little head-on spook. I took the 3 little hooks off and just left this one on. I might change it to drop it a little bit and put a snap swivel in between, so this way it'll give it a little extra length. So then when it's swimming, it'll be hanging back down here a little bit. Better area to grab the fish. All right. So now that we've gone through pretty much all the poppers, now we're going to get to one of the more fascinating types of poppers, pencil poppers, okay? Now right here we have a back bay pencil popper. I'd say she's about 9 inches. This is a Guppy Jobo Jr., 3 ounce, in ghost mackerel. I don't know if you could see color. All right. See, back bay. The action on the back bay, I love it. Beautiful. It's got the rounded bottom. This is supposed to be these famous canal ones. They kind of got this flat, sloped bottom. You know what I'm saying? Me personally, I'm not, maybe it's just me, I don't know how to work these yet properly, but I can't get these to impart proper action. I'm gonna, excuse me, I'm gonna order a 2 ounce in the round bottom. I've heard they've had some pretty much better action, and I'm gonna test it out. These are supposed to be really renowned pencil poppers, so I want to try to really get that thing down. All right. So, like I said, now a pencil popper is probably the most tiresome lure you're gonna use, because you're casting it way out. They cast a mile because all the weight's in the back. So when you cast out, it will just go flying. So you cover a lot of distance. I'm sorry. Now, once it hits the water, what you could do is right before it hits the water, just tap your finger on the line. And what that's going to do is tighten up the line. So this way when the thing lands, it lands straight in the water, facing you. This way, the minute you start retrieving, it's already doing its action. Because when you cast a lure and you hear a big plop in the water, fish are going to look around, see where it is. Now, if they look up and they see this thing sitting in the water like a dead stick, they're going to look away. If they look up and they see it going, that's what you need to have prepared and ready, okay? Now, I really think pencil poppers aren't too great on Staten Island, but they do have their place. And I do believe that, especially if you ever get a chance to visit some of the northern states like Maine, Cape Cod, these things are definitely going to be a tool you're going to want in your bag, all right? If you guys have any questions on any future videos, any types of lures, or anything you'd like me to describe, please comment, subscribe, and like. Share this, and I'll see you guys later. Shallon's Finest Fisherman, Mikey Secco, out.